finger maybe, and then your little finger will be kind of resting on your face. Have your hands flat so you haven't got to hold them up or anything like that. Relax your elbows. And then allow your mouth to open gently and close gently. So a small, slight movement of opening and closing. And can you feel your jaw? Oh, that's where the hinge of your jaw meets your skull. Huh? And then if you put your fingers behind your ear, you'll feel your jaw opening and closing. That's it. Then relax your hands, relax your arms, and just bring your attention to noticing the length of your legs, the length of your spine, how your shoulder blades are resting on the floor, the length of your arms, how your head feels, where your head is resting, the weight of your head, the ground underneath your head. And then bring your awareness to the shape of your head. So you can kind of bring an awareness to the shape of your head, and how your head is resting on the floor. So are you resting a little bit more on the outside edge or the right side or the other side on the left side? Or are you more or less in the middle? And just allow your head to turn from side to side a little bit. Doesn't have to be a huge movement, and go quite slowly. So you can bring that awareness to how you are actually moving your head and what it feels like. Can you feel the ground underneath your head? Does it feel that there's one side of your head that's in a different shape to the other side? That's it. Now, even if you've got your eyes closed, what do your eyes do when you turn your head? Do they kind of stay in the middle? Do they go in the opposite direction? Do they come with you? And then bring the head back to the middle. And then bring your attention all the way down to your feet. Allow your feet to flex and extend. So gently flex your feet and then point your feet. So you're not looking to do this perfectly. Just remember, there's no such thing as perfect. You're kind of, when we think about trying to do something perfectly, you're trying to compare it to something that you've done before, or something that you've seen someone else do, or something that you think how it should be. So just move how you move, and just have that awareness in your feet of how your feet are moving today, with the flexing and the pointing. The back of the heel, how it's resting on the floor on the right foot and on the left foot. You're just being aware of how the right foot moves and how the left foot moves. And can you do that movement with hardly any help from your toes? So keep the toes fairly passive as you flex and point your feet. And then let that go and put your hands on your pelvis. So rest your hands on the top of your pelvis. So you'll feel where your hip bones are, the little prominent bits at the front of your pelvis. Okay, so you're just going to notice how your pelvis responds. So flex and point your feet again, and notice if there's any change in your pelvis. If there's any flattening of the back or arching of the back, you're just noticing if there's any change in your pelvis. Just being aware of that. It might be so slight, so very subtle. So if you go slowly, you'll be able to notice it. And then let that go. And then bring your attention to the back of your neck. So the back of the neck has got 7 bones, 7 cervical bones, vertebrae in our neck. The head sits on top, and when the last bone of the neck ends, the first bone of the thoracic spine begins, where your ribs start. So some of us have quite a straight neck, and really we want this little bit of a curve coming inwards or forwards. the same as we are looking for same kind of curve that you want in your lower back. Okay, so without trying to change the position of your head or your neck, you're just noticing. Okay, so put your hands back on your pelvis if they're not there already, and allow your head to very gently nod. And you're not doing a big nod, you're not going, yes, I want that piece of cake. You're going, maybe, a little bit of a hesitant nodding. So very slight nodding of the head. Now I remember when, I think it was when I was little, we had as a mum will remember this, Dr. Thorpe was our doctor, he was lovely. And he had a nodding dog, I think, on his table in the office. So if I was nodding that little dog's head, good distraction therapy going on in his doctor's surgery. We're going to give you an injection. So very gentle nodding, very slight. And you might notice, does your pelvis actually respond to that? Do you get a little bit of movement in your pelvis as well? And then let that go. Dr. Thorpe's a great doctor. He was lovely. He's no longer with us, sadly, but in a way, if he wasn't with us still, he'd be probably 160 by now. So I think he was very helpful when I put my little finger through a glass pane in the kitchen door when I was about 5, I think, or 6. I think I was having a little bit of a temper tantrum because I was told to tidy up my comics or something. And I was like, nah. I was having a little bit. It was in the late afternoon or early evening. I'm not quite sure. The memories are very vague. We tend to fill in these with stories or memories. But I have this line of stitches from the bottom finger to the top finger. So that's another story as to how NKT helped me release my scar so my shoulder could drop and I felt like I had my finger back. Because before that I hadn't realised my finger was really numb and it was just like I didn't have a finger. Anyway. So now, if you bend your knees, so your feet are on the floor. Lovely. And we're just going to do a little bit of awareness on the jaw. So bring your awareness to your teeth. Your upper row of teeth and your lower row of teeth. And just notice, without changing anything, just notice how you tend to hold your teeth. Do they tend to clamp together? Is there a bit of a gap? Is there not a bit of a gap? What happens? There's something in the dark here, so let's come over here a little bit. Yes, so what happens in your teeth? So could you just gently clench your upper and lower jaw together? Just gently clench and then release. So very gently clench and then very slowly and gently release. So you begin to teach your brain the difference between what a clenched jaw feels like and what an unclenched jaw feels like. Clenching gently and releasing gently. So bring your hands back onto your face like you did just now with your little fingers maybe resting on your cheekbone, but your index fingers close towards your ear. So you've got that little flap of skin at the front on the face that covers kind of the whole of the ear. So if you have your finger there, and you'll feel that when you clench your teeth, you might feel tension around that area. So you can move your fingers down a little bit, you might feel it closer there. So when you clench, can you feel that? And when you release, can you feel the release? Maybe you feel it on one side more than the other. And then let that go. Now with your knees bent and your feet on the floor, could you press your feet gently into the floor so your lower back flattens and then let that go? So press your feet down, your lower back flattens, and then you let it go. So when the lower back flattens, can you allow yourself to feel that movement going all the way up your spine into your head? All the way up your spine into your head. So your head, what I mean into your head means that when you press your feet down, your lower back flattens and that movement will travel up your spine. So your head actually moves. It's not got a huge movement. You might only move a millimetre. You notice a little bit of a rocking in the top of your head. So you notice how the ground changes, the feeling of that underneath the back of your head. Yep. Okay. So let that go. Keep the knees bent though. And allow your hands, your fingertips, to come and rest on your forehead. So close towards the top of your forehead where you get where your hairline is. And very gently allow yourself to gently push the skin backwards, as if you're just trying to, as if you're trying to stretch the skin of your forehead backwards towards the hairline or towards the top of your head. So just gently pressing that. And notice as you do that, the part of your head that you're moving is your skull. Now, could you do that movement and notice what happens to your jaw? Could you notice what happens to your jaw when you do that? Do you bring it with you? Does it stay where it is? Okay, so keep one hand where it is on the forehead, close to the hairline, because you're going to continue to do that, but the other hand is going to come down and rest on your jaw. So have the thumb underneath the jaw and the fingertips just below the lower lip. Yeah. So as you start to very gently press the forehead, press the skin, slide the skin towards the hairline and towards the back of the head, use the other hand to gently bring the jaw, the lower jaw, downwards. And then bring them back together. So the skull is going in one direction, being pressed to slightly, because you're pulling the skin or pressing the skin towards the forehead and backwards, and the other hand is gently pulling the jaw down. So go slowly and smoothly. So it's not a huge movement. Okay, so don't worry if you can't pull the jaw in to an area where you feel, the mouth's really open wide. You might only be able to do a couple of millimetres, and that's okay. Because you don't want to notice any tension anywhere else in your body. You don't want your toes to tighten up. You don't want your hands to tighten up. You don't want your shoulders up by your ears. Relax your eyes. Relax your tongue. And this is when you start to notice the difference between the jaw and the skull. Because we tend to think about everything just being one unit. It's a bit like when we talk about our lower back, we think it's just the lower back area, and we tend to find this, we can't dissociate our lower back from our hips and from our pelvis and from the rest of our spine. So we're trying to notice this difference between the jaw and the skull. And notice where that hinge joint actually is, where the jaw meets your skull. And then let that go and rest. So have your knees bent, have your feet on the floor, and just gently press the feet into the floor so your pelvis rocks again. A little bit of rocking of the pelvis, a little bit of rocking of the head. And notice if your head feels a little bit different now that we've done, not very much, we've done a slight little movement or an awareness exercise of how the head and the jaw have this relationship, that one can go in one direction, the other one can go in the other direction. That's it. And then rest that movement and just breathe into your hands for a moment. Have your hands resting on your lower belly. Breathe into your hands. And sometimes when we're stressed and worried, the jaw tenses up. So allow your exhalation to be longer than your inhalation for a moment to help calm down that over anxious and stressed nervous system that we have sometimes when we're off on our little stories and our thoughts in our head, anxious and worried about things. And notice how that makes you feel in your face and in your jaw. Okay. So gently bring your attention back to your jaw and your head. And what you're going to do is put one hand back underneath your jaw, so thumb underneath and the fingertips resting underneath your lip, and the other fingertips on the other hand are resting close to the hairline, and gently pressing the skin back and opening the jaw. Head goes, so you're pushing or pulling the skin back, and the other hand is gently opening the lower jaw. So as you're doing that this time, could you allow yourself to notice what your eyes are doing? Could you let your eyes follow what your upper hand is doing? Let your eyes go in the same direction as your skin. And then let that go. Let your hands rest down. And just allow your head to stay steady for a moment. So if you notice the difference when we move our head up and down, allow your head to stay steady and just allow your jaw to gently open. So the lower jaw opens and closes. Just a little bit, not too much. That's it. Relax the rest of your body, let your shoulders go. Now keep it open slightly and then very gently let it go to the right and then bring it back. And then do that again, slowly, gently, goes to the right and then it comes back. Very gently, do a few more, but take your time. This is not about doing 100 repetitions, this is just about being aware of what it feels like as your jaw goes to the right. What does that do to the left side of your face? Can you feel a pulling, or does it feel easy? How far does it go? You're not trying to go all the way. You're not forcing it. You're just noticing the movement. There might be a bit of restriction there. There might not. And now could you let your eyes follow your jaw? Let your eyes follow the direction of your jaw. Going to the right and then coming back to the middle. And can your eyes travel as smoothly as your jaw is travelling? And then let that go. And then let's do the other side. So the mouth is gently and slowly opening, and let your jaw go to the left and let your eyes slowly follow. And then they come back. Just slowly, gently, noticing your eyes following the direction of your jaw. Is there any difference to the other side? Does the jaw go further on this side, or does it feel different, more restricted? They're all different. Some of you might feel that it's easier on this side, some of you might not. Some of you might feel it's the same. And then come back. And we'll put that together. So allow the jaw to gently open. Let your eyes and your jaw go to the right. Come back to the middle. Let your eyes and your jaw go to the left. Come back to the middle. It's hard to talk and do that at the same time. So do a few more of those, but taking it slowly, because if you're going slowly and smoothly enough, your brain can pick up anything it needs to alter. Next time, it might change things. Give it time to notice, so we're not doing it too quickly. And you have a chance to notice here, when you're doing one side to the other, you get a chance to see, to feel and to sense if one side of your jaw is going more to one side than the other. And you sense that. Amazing, huh? The eyes and the jaw very closely connected. Higher the fascia. And then come back and rest. Rest your eyes, rest your jaw. Nice, I like that exercise. Okay, so come and roll over onto your front. We're going to do a little bit of work on our backs and on our necks to help the length of our spine, so we don't feel that we're in this not frightened, but a fear survival kind of response. We sometimes, when we're stressed and anxious, we tend to be in this what's called the red light reflex. I think it's called the red light reflex, when from Peter Levine's Thomas Hanna's somatic book, identifying a green light reflex when we're like in a, well, hey, we must get on and do things, and we've got to do this and we've got to do that. And the red light reflex is when we're kind of retracting and we're kind of going into ourselves. And it's a bit like when you're walking down the road and you hear this car backfiring and you tend to go, whoa, what was that? We hear a loud noise. You tend to roll your shoulders in, you tend to pull your belly in, you tend to round your back, you tend to drop the head a little bit, clench the jaw, the eyes clench. So we get all this tension, and sometimes we get stuck in this kind of fear survival response. It's very good to get us out of bed in the morning, get us going, but sometimes when we're in this high cortisol, very kind of hyper-arousal response to life, and we don't know how to unwind it or to let go of it, it becomes too much. Okay, so let your head rest on your hands. That's right. I was going to say let your head rest on your forehead, but no, let your forehead rest on your hands as you're lying on your front. Let your legs stretch out. So you feel safe here. You can feel the ground underneath you supporting you, the length of your body, the length of your legs, your arms resting. So just allow your head to turn from right to left. So as if you're rolling your forehead over your hands. So when you turn your head to the left, the right side of your forehead will be on your hands. And when you come back to the middle, the forehead will be back in the middle. And when you turn your head to the right, the left side of your forehead will be resting on your hand. So you're just turning the head, and feel that you're just looking from the back of your head, as if the back of your head has got eyes and it's scanning the ceiling. That's it. And then bring it back to the middle and allow the head to lift. So you look in front of you and then bring it back down. So imagine there's a little ladybird or something just wandering away, and she's going up the wall and you're watching her go. And then you're watching her come back down. So nice and gently, so your hands are staying down on the ground, your elbows are probably bent. Your hands can either be on top of each other or closer towards your elbows, whichever is more comfortable for you. And just notice it's not how far you're going, but really noticing your chest bone. So when you lift, you're lifting the top part of your chest bone off the floor, the head, the chest bone, and then you come back down. So you're noticing how much of your chest bone lifts and how much of it comes back down. And when you're lifting, can you feel that you're lengthening the front of you as if you're creating some space for your lungs to breathe? The width of the collarbone, as if you want to create some space for your lungs to stretch out. Shoulder blades drop down towards your pelvis. It's nice. As if you're opening up some space in the front of your body. And you imagine your gentle esophagus, which runs from the back of your mouth, going all the way down to your stomach, where your food goes, where your water goes, as if you're lengthening that tube. Sometimes that can get a little bit restricted and tight. It can create a little bit of acid reflux around here, around the stomach area. So just allow yourself to feel you're opening up and lengthening, as if you're really greeting the world. Hi, I'm here. You're not ashamed of yourself. You don't want to hide away, but you actually want to have a really good look around and see the colours that are around you, the light that's in the room, the patterns, the shapes. And then rest your forehead back on your hands and go back to this gentle turning of the head, as if you're rolling the head over the hands, over the arms. Just rolling from one side to the other. That's it. Nice. And then gently press yourself back into child's pose. So you bend your knees, you push your pelvis gently back towards your heels. And if your head doesn't reach the floor, put a cushion underneath your forehead, or make a little fist with your hands and put one on top of the other and rest your forehead on your hands like that. Or you can put your hands flat, rest your forehead. So it's more about the lengthening of your chest bone. So as you let your head rest, can you allow your chest bone to feel that it's happy to rest and sink down towards the floor? So it's just resting. It's always like it's a heavy chest bone, as if it's trying to find the floor. And then when you do that, you can feel that you're not rounding your spine towards the ceiling. So let your jaw soften as you do that. Let yourself breathe into the back of the body as if I was standing by your side and my hands were on the back of your ribs and you're breathing into my hands, yes? So when you're breathing into my hands, you can feel that you have got this width of the breath, as if the rib cage is opening up and widening with every breath, as if you're spreading the ribs away from each other. So you have little muscles between your ribs called the intercostals. So every time you're breathing, you're trying to feel that you're opening up and widening the space in the back of your body. That's it. So how you breathe, your diaphragm also affects what's going on with your jaw. Fascia of your diaphragm is also connected to your jaw. So trying to find that space in the back of the body, and as you breathe, and as you find that space, you can find that the jaw can actually let go of tension as well. So lots to think about. So gently come up onto your knees. So you're in a tall kneeling position. Tall kneeling position. Okay, so put your hands together in the prayer position and put your thumbs on your chest bone. Okay, so your chin is kind of in the middle there. So you're not too over with your hands, not too far over one side or the other, but your thumbs are on your chest bone. So just turn to one side, take your head with you. Come back to the middle and turn to the other side and take your chest, your hands, your thumbs and your chin with you. Now when you turn to your left next time, could you bring your awareness to your left shoulder blade, guiding you around as if it's trying to hug your spine. And when you come back to the middle, you let that go. And when you go to the right side, let your right shoulder blade feel that it's guiding you around as if it's slowly trying to hug your spine. And when you come back to the middle, you let that go. So you find that connection in the back of the body to help you turn. And notice what your jaw is doing as you do this. So if you're trying to really feel that you should be doing this well and you should be turning further, you might be clenching your jaw and thinking, oh, I've got to get there. So let go of your jaw and make the movement smaller. So as you turn, and you're being aware of what your shoulders are doing, could you spread that awareness to your jaw and notice that there is a little gap between the upper row of teeth and the lower row of teeth, so they're not touching. You're gently turning with this little gap between the teeth. Notice if that changes how you move. Now the next time you turn to the left, could you stay there with the teeth away from each other and let your jaw gently shift to the right and let your eyes follow your jaw. So you turn to the left, your jaw's going to the right and your eyes are going to the right. Come back to the middle. Now turn to the right. Let your jaw go to the left. Let your eyes go to the left. And then come back to the middle. Turn your body to the left. Let your jaw go to the right. And let your eyes go to the right. Try not to tilt your head so your ear isn't getting any closer to your shoulder. I see you. Come back to the middle. And then turn to the right. Let your jaw go to the left. Let your eyes go to the left. Don't tilt your head. Come back to the middle. Do a couple more on each side, but do less. So you're trying to make the movement really small. By doing a bigger movement does not mean that you're going to get more success in this lesson. It means that you'll probably tighten up something. You might clench your pelvic floor. You might tighten your toes. You might tighten your jaw a little bit. You might hold your breath. You might notice that there's a certain clenching somewhere if you try and do it too much. If you try and do a bigger range of movement. So make it smaller and make it slower. See, we're taught in health and fitness to do more reps and make them bigger. But then, just don't notice how we compensate. And we've all got compensation somewhere in the body, but it's just bringing that awareness to them. Making friends with them rather than hating them. That's it. And now do all in the same direction. So next time you go to the left, let your jaw release and go with you to the left. Let your eyes go to the left. And then come back and go to the right. Let your jaw go to the right. Let your eyes go. And then go back to the left. And notice if it feels a little bit freer. Or if there is a little bit more movement now. Magic. We're just waking up and working with your amazing nervous system. As it is amazing. Keeps you going. Survival and all that. Yeah. And then come back and rest on your back. Come and lie down on your back. Stretch your legs out. Rest your arms down. Bring your attention all the way back down to your amazing feet. Flex and point your feet like we did in the beginning. Flex your feet, point your feet, noticing what your feet are up to. Noticing, put your hands on your pelvis. Just notice if your pelvis, if you can feel that moving. If it feels different to how we did this in the beginning. Can you notice if your head's moving? That's it. And then bend your knees. So as you've got your knees bent, just gently let the right knee fall out to the side and then bring it back, and then change legs. Let the left knee fall out to the side and bring it back. So just gently, one knee at a time. Knee falls out, it comes back. Knee falls out, it comes back. Just noticing what happens. If you're not holding on to anything, you can let your pelvis move. So the next time your knee falls out to the right, let your right knee just stay there. That's it. Now turn your head to the right a little bit. And allow the jaw to open. And let it slide a little bit further to the right. Close your jaw, bring the head and the jaw back to the middle. Turn the jaw to the right, open the jaw, let your eyes follow. Come back to the middle and then do it all at the same time. So open your jaw, turn your head to the right a little bit, let your jaw go with you and your eyes. Come back to the middle. Turn the head, the jaw, the eyes to the right. Come back to the middle, being aware that you're not trying to go all the way to the right. You're just being aware if it feels nice and easy and gentle. So it's not a forced movement. Smooth. Smooth. A smooth move. Okay, perhaps we should call these classes smooth moves. I'm trying to come up with some names of what to call these sessions. And then come back to the middle. Bring the knee back. And then let the left knee fall out to the side and allow the head to turn to the left a little bit. Then the jaw open and just drop to the left and come back to the middle. Bring the head back. Turn the head to the left, open the jaw. Let your eyes follow. Come back to the middle. And then do it all at the same time. So you're in the middle with the head, open the jaw, turn to the left. Take your eyes with you. Come back to the middle, shut the jaw. Open again, open the mouth. Turn the head to the left, let your eyes go. And come back. So do a couple more. Nice and easy, but notice if there's any difference on this side compared to the left. Don't forget your left knee's dropped out to the side as well. And then come back to the middle. Stretch your legs out. And come back to this flexing and pointing of your feet. Notice if you can feel any movement in your pelvis, in your lower back, as you flex your feet and point your feet. Remember, if you're doing it with tension, you might not feel it. And then let's go a little bit quicker. So flex point, flex point, flex point, flex point, flex point, flex point. Can you feel your pelvis moving? Flex point, 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 and then let it go. Whew. And then bring your attention back to this little simple awareness exercise that you can do at any time of day when you're feeling a little bit anxious or stressed. Just bring your awareness to the top row of teeth and the bottom row of teeth. Could you clench them together? And then very gently let them move away from each other. Let the bottom jaw just open a small amount. And then clench them back together again. Hold them there. Don't hold your breath. Probably finding that you're holding your breath in when you're doing that. And then very gently let the bottom row of teeth come away from the top row of teeth. Let it go. And then clench again. And then let it go. And then clench again. Hold it. Don't hold your breath, but hold those teeth. All in that clenched position. Do you feel that in your cheekbones, in your eyes? And very gently let it go. As if you're letting the air out of a balloon gently. Or if you're letting air out of a tire gently, there's that slow release. So let your jaw feel like it has that slow release. So keep that gap between the top row of teeth and the bottom row of teeth. And just allow your jaw to gently shift to one side and then the other. Let your eyes now follow the direction of your jaw. Now let your eyes go in the opposite direction to your jaw. It's a bit tricky at first. And now let them go in the same direction as your jaw. And then come back and rest your jaw, rest your eyes. So let your eyes close if it feels comfortable for you to do so. Allow your eyes to feel heavy. And then we're going to relaxation. So grab a blanket if you feel you want to. If you feel like it's blanket time. A blanket time. Lovely. And let your head rest. So just notice your breathing for a moment. Not notice that you are breathing, because obviously you are. Otherwise you wouldn't be hearing my voice. But notice how you're breathing. Notice if your belly is moving, or if your chest is moving, or if it's both. You can put a hand on your belly and a hand on your upper chest, and you can feel which hand moves first. Or you could try this little test later on somebody, or get them to try it on you. We can get a couple of pieces of A4 paper. And if you haven't got any A4 paper, just get a pair of shoes, clean, because you're going to put one on your chest. You put one on your upper chest, on your chest bone, just below this little notch here where you're between your collarbone and the other one on your lower belly. And you just breathe. And you notice which piece of paper or which shoe moves first. If it's the lower belly, then you're more of a belly breather. If it's the upper one, if it's on the chest, then you're more of a chest breather. And if it's both, yay, well done. And now feel that you can take all of that away and breathe into the sides of your body, the width of you. As if you're noticing your body as if it was a container containing all your organs. And you're breathing into the width of that container, but also the depth of it, all directions. The expansion of you. So you can feel that you're showing up without feeling small, without contracting backwards, without hiding. But also without a straight spine. So sometimes when we feel like we're supposed to be confident, we kind of stand to attention and we have this sort of straight spine in the middle of our back, and we're supposed to have these little curves in our spine. So sometimes this standing to attention is called, in Thomas Hanna's book, the green light reflex, when we feel that we need to be better and need to always be showing up, and we're trying to prove ourselves or to other people. We're trying to be seen, and that creates tension also in the jaw and in your neck, because you tend to lift your head and the neck gets tight. So that creates other issues as well, so all the way down into your feet. So kind of find a happy medium, the middle path, the middle way, as the Buddhists say. So you're not one or the other, but you're in the middle. With softness and gentleness and kindfulness. So allow yourself to feel the stillness for a moment in your mind, a peacefulness in your mind. So if you have one of those little measuring sticks or something like that, a peaceometer, let's call it a peaceometer in your mind, where would your peaceometer be in your mind right now? Would it be all the way up to 10, not very peaceful, or in 5 maybe, kind of peaceful, 2 or 3, yeah, feeling really peaceful. So you can check in your peaceometer throughout the day, how peaceful your mind feels. And when your mind feels peaceful, notice how that changes the tension in your body, in your shoulders, in your pelvic floor, in your jaw, in your eyes. Can change a whole lot of stuff. You're not judging yourself. You're not judging anyone else. But when you're judging someone else, you're judging yourself. So allow yourself to feel that your mind is peaceful for a moment. How peaceful is your mind right now? So then you can allow yourself, when you're feeling your mind is peaceful, it has a clarity, and it can actually start to notice when your out-breath becomes your in-breath. You're not trying to change it, you're just noticing when it changes. When does your out-breath become your in-breath? Just being aware. So when you're going slow enough and with a peaceful mind, you can be aware of it. And it's something you can drop into every now and again during your day, whatever you're doing. You can just drop into this, how the breath changes. And it brings you back to this moment, rather than being into this future thinking, worried mind, or this past thinking, concerned, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, why didn't I do that? Mind. It's just this moment. Get that lower jaw relaxed, so there's a gap between the upper row of teeth and the lower row of teeth. And then keeping that jaw still, could you very gently allow your head to nod? The jaw doesn't move. If you're not sure about that, you can put your fingers back on your jaw, thumb underneath, fingertips underneath your lips, lower lip. And you can keep your jaw steady as you move your head as if you're saying yes, gently, without your jaw coming with you. Upper row of teeth move away from the lower row of teeth. Sense where you're moving from, that hinge that's right by your ears. And then let it go. You can come and roll over onto one side. Rest on your side for a moment. Notice the ground beneath you, supporting you, how your jaw feels and how you breathe when you're on your side. When you feel ready, use your hands to push yourself up. Because it's the end of the lesson today. Thank you for joining me. I hope your jaw feels whoa, wow. Oh, nice. A little bit of movement. Lovely. Have a wonderful Monday. Yes. And make sure you're drinking. How many litres of water are you going to drink today? Are you going to drink 1 litre? Because that's pretty good. If you're used to drinking 1 litre, see if you can drink 1.5. And if you're used to drinking 1.5, see if you can drink 2. Just take it easy and being mindful. And notice that peaceometer in your mind today. Love you. We are back here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I think. And then it is Thursday morning at 10. See you then. Take care. Love you. Bye. Bye.